Hello, everyone, and welcome to the We Win podcast, powered by Accelerate Her Africa in partnership with the Human Pattern Institute. You are also welcome. I am your host, Lolita Ejiofor. So my next guest is a clinical nurse, a burnout recovery specialist, and the founder of Tolicious. And she is here to make one thing absolutely clear. Burnout is not a mindset problem. It's a body problem. Cassandra Ukaobi works specifically with Diaspora women building careers and businesses in environments where they were not born into, carrying family expectations, cultural narratives about strength, and the often unseen weight of never being allowed to stop. She brings clinical knowledge, lived experience, and zero wellness cliches to one of the most urgent conversations African women are not having loudly enough. So let's begin. Hello, Cass. Welcome to the We Win podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. And you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Okay, so Cass, take us back to the beginning. What led you to build Tolicious?
Where do I start? I was born in Nigeria, in a town in the southeastern part of Nigeria. And my mom, she had a maternity. Mm-hmm. So she was helping women deliver babies. She was helping them being like the marriage counselor. She was everything. And fast forward to that, I moved to the Caribbean at the age of 19 to study nursing.
Right.
And the option that I was given at the moment was after high school, I dabbled. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I always knew at the back of my mind, I wanted to do something for myself. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I wanted to also help people. Mm-hmm. Now, my mom called me up one day and she said, well, I've got two options here for you, young lady. It's either you stay in Nigeria and go to medical school, or you can come to Dominica, the Caribbean. There is an opportunity to come here and study nursing. And whichever one you take, this is a foundation for you to go ahead and be able to help people. And you can always change because you have that career. You can always change. Now, I took the option that's going to get me to travel because I wanted to travel anyways. So I moved to the Caribbean. I studied nursing and then I moved to the UK afterwards. Now, when I moved to the UK, I was a team leader in a care home in London. I did that for a year and then I moved to a private hospital. When I was working at the private hospital, that's when I started Tolicious.
Right.
One of the things I picked up over the years working as a nurse is like people coming at the point of crisis. There is not enough education out there to teach people on how to take care of themselves before they reach to that point.
Right.
Now, if we can be able to help people get to that point, we are going to have less hospital admission, less people on the waiting list, and we're going to have a more healthier society. And that's where Tolicious started. Now, Tolicious, we do supplements, we do skincare, we do hair care, we offer even like one-to-one support and corporate well-being events. All of this is enveloped at holistic well-being approach.
Right.
And Tolicious has been going on for 4 years now. And it keeps on going and it keeps on going. And recently we've been funded by the Northeast Accelerator Program under the SPACs.
Wow.
Which is championed by Messiah Ventures to be able to keep on doing the good work and be able to expand in the Northeast region of England. That's the story of Tolicious. That is it in a nutshell.
Awesome. Well, congratulations for running for 4 years. And not only that, gaining sponsorship.
Thank you.
That's very encouraging and it must be validating for what you do. I think you mentioned a very key point. People wait until they're in crisis before they seek help and they create a lot of pressure on the healthcare system. So Tolicious is quite well placed to make a difference. Okay. You come to this work with clinical nursing knowledge. When you talk about what burnout does, you are not speaking from the wellness culture. What does it do to the body physically?
Burnout is a sign. It's a sign that our body is telling us something. Our body is telling us to take a break. And sometimes we ignore it. And then it shows on the skin because what happens is like when we are under that stress, the cortisol level rises up. Our skin reacts to it, our body reacts to it, even our digestive system reacts to it as well. And that's where we have bad gut health, which also affects the skin and all the body. So this is how it affects the body physically. But it also goes beyond physical. It also affects us mentally. Okay, because if you have a bad gut health, everything suffers. Everything suffers, you know. So burnout is something that should be taken seriously. Because once it's not dealt with, it affects everything around our body, and it should be something that we should be putting up on our forefront. And burnout comes again when people are in a work environment or doing something that they do not enjoy, number one, or number two, or something that is high pressure and they feel like they're not supported enough. So burnout can come that way. And also burnout can come as well when we neglect ourselves. Like when we ignore those signs that our body is giving us and think, it's all right. I'm just gonna, so this way burnout can happen.
And burnout, it creeps up on most people. They kind of endure and they ignore, like you said, the signs their bodies are giving them, but it doesn't stop them physically. They just keep going until the body just crashes, and that's when they start seeking help. So you make a very valid point. You work specifically with diaspora women who are building businesses and careers in environments they were not born into, often carrying the weight of family expectations, the migration narrative, and the culture ideas about what strength is supposed to look like. What does burnout look like for that specific woman?
Many African women, diaspora women, if I may say, not only African, many diaspora women, we travel. And when we travel, we have that burden, we have that extra burden of, we have people back home that are hoping on us. We have people back home that are waiting on us. We have people back home that are looking up to us. So when we have this double expectation, it can be very dangerous. Because we want to work twice. We want to, whenever we feel like we should take a rest, we feel even guilty about it.
Yeah.
Because we think, we should be working all the time. And there have been a lot of incidents here in the UK. I think I haven't had that recently, but as of last year, we had people that were just dropping at the workplace and dying. Because they are like overworking. This is reality, by the way. Wow. People would finish night shift and then they would go to day shift. It's not healthy. It's actually not healthy because you're not giving your body that time to rest. You're not giving your body that time to be able to recover. And this is where burnout is up to its max, So this is what it looks like. It looks like we're trying to overachieve. We're trying to overcompensate for something. But at the end of the day, if we cannot be able to wake up and be able to go, or we're not alive that morning, that thing, those people that are looking up to us are still going to carry on with their life. Does that make sense? So if we as diaspora women are listening right now, and then we realize, we still also need to take care of ourselves. We cannot be pouring from an empty cup. You cannot take care of other people when you haven't taken care of your own self. So the expectation needs to,
yeah,
we need to have a proper discussion about this. It's I don't want to deviate too much into it, but the only thing I want to say is we need to take care of ourselves. We need to also remember that self-care is not selfish, and this is where our slogan in Tolicious comes along. Self-care is not selfish, it's survival. We shouldn't ever feel selfish about taking care of ourselves, because once we can take care of ourselves better, we can be able to pour into others.
I mean, there is a high degree of self-induced pressure, especially for these women you're targeting, the African women and those in diaspora. There is this willingness to please everybody and put ourselves last. And so expectation is what drives us. And then we forget all about the quality of life. And like you said, self-care is not selfish. I hope everyone is listening to that, especially our women, which brings me on to my next question. There is a message many African women grew up with that putting yourself first is a form of selfishness, even betrayal. Where does that message come from? And why does it survive even when we know better?
We are raised to take care of everyone else. That's what it is. We're mothers. Yeah. We're mothers to our husbands. We're mothers to our children. We're mothers to everyone. That's what it is. We are even mothers to our brothers. And there's been a trend that's going on right now about the first girl child in the family. She ended up being the one that is responsible for everyone coming after. So this has been something that's been, it's a whole lot of thing envelopes into and going on like that. But I am so proud that my generation is doing much better because we're recognizing those signs and we're like, we're not going to accept any of this. You're my husband. I'm not your mom. I'm not your mom. And because of this, we're going to be able to raise healthier children that is going to, come after us. Because with this, what happens is like you carry on that into everyday life, into even your marriage as well. It's like as a first child that's gone through that, you've given everything to the children that you didn't bear, that are your brothers, your sisters, because they're younger. And then you come into a marriage, you're already tired because, you've given everything. And this also has a sign. It also plays its part in how marriage are being sustained, So we shouldn't feel selfish. We shouldn't feel like it's selfish, stopping in and taking care of ourselves, putting ourselves first. And I see this a lot also with, I talk about this a lot with my mom. My mom, she's done a whole lot of things for us as well. She had 7 of us, 6 boys and me. I'm the only girl. And I see that with her. And I feel like if she had taken a lot of time to take care of herself whilst we were growing up, she would be able to present even much better. Like the little things she was stressed about, Now I'm thinking about that, so I'm like, why was she always stressed about these things? That is also because she's not taking time off. She's not going on vacation. She's always there. I want to take care of my kids, my children. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. And I think also that what happens is like when we, as women, we take over those control, the men, they stay back, If, as the woman, you recognize, that I'm not the only one that bear these children. I need to go today and take my time off. You, the father, you are the person in charge. They take care of your kid. The man will step up. He will. I do it with my husband. My husband, he does everything. He knows how to change nappy. He knows how to cook. And people are wondering like, what? Your husband know how to cook? I was like, he can change the kids. Is his kid. The baby is his. So he also has equal responsibility of taking care of him as much as I do. So if we can recognize that and be able to change that mindset, it's a mindset shift, by the way. It's not something that we're gonna wake up one day and it's gone. It's a mindset shift. And once we can recognize that and be able to change it, we can be able to have a healthier society. Because whatever trauma we have, we carry that on to generation until we can be able to break it and heal from it.
True. Do you know what made me laugh was, okay, first of all, you got me started on the firstborn thing, but it means that men who marry firstborns have it really good because then we come and we mother them and then they take a seat back. So I think that's an unfair deal. And that added burden does make women feel like, they need to do everything and then they need to take care of all their children, including their husbands. So that's really interesting. But here we are. Okay. There is a version of self-care that is bubble baths and candles and green smoothies. And then there is what you seem to be describing, which is something harder and more essential. What is the difference?
Well, the difference is like the bubble bath, it's okay. We're not saying no to bubble bath because we do sell we sell bath soaps as well on Tolicious. So we're not going to say no, none of that. But it's about also recognizing, like after that, it comes from within, by the way. Self-care comes from within. Absolutely. Which is something that we've been speaking about from the onset of our discussion here. It's about recognizing those patterns that has been going on and realize, I need to put myself first. I need to be able to say no. You know what? No. I just want to sit down today. It doesn't have to be bubble bath. It doesn't have to be just, skincare and all that. You can say, no, you know what? Today I'm just going to sit down and do nothing. And that's it. And that's just enough. Because also, one thing I realize is like when I sit down and just do nothing, I can be able to listen to myself. I solve quite a lot of problems when I sit down and listen to myself and just do nothing. Because my mind is at rest and I can be able to think, you know what? I think that's the solution to that. But when we're always busy, we're doing that. We cannot be able to listen to ourselves properly and be able to be more organized. And be able to have a better strategy. There's no sustainability with that, So it's much more than that.
I think most women are Marthas, lots of Marthas running around the place feeling that they need to keep busy. Otherwise, they cannot settle. And even sitting down with yourself gives you time to not only think, but also to reflect and for your body to just rest. So it's just this habit that people have. You take this work into corporate organizations and boardrooms, making the case for investing in employee well-being before people reach that breaking point. Most institutions are not built to think that way. What is the resistance you most commonly encounter, and what does it tell you about how organizations value the people inside them?
Most of the times they say we do not have enough budget for this. But what they don't realize is like at some point they have to pay for it. Because a good example is you hire someone, you pay the recruiter money to hire that person, and the person come, you spend time to train them, and then they come and then they work for 6 months and they realize, you know what, this environment is not for me. It's high pressure, it's not good, and then they leave. Now, all the money you spent, the time, the energy you spent hiring that person is gone. It's gone. And then you're going to start again from the scratch, trying to rehire people. Now, if organizations can look at it from that angle, they will realize, you know what? If we take care of our people will stay longer.
Exactly.
This means you have people that are staying longer. That is number one thing. You're saving yourself money from, training people and hiring people all the time. That's number one. Number two, customers are going to be happy because the people that are serving them are happy. This means you are creating a very sustainable organization. You're creating a sustainable company where everyone is happy, the customers are happy, the people that are working in there are happy, and that means everyone is happy. So definitely, I think like if organizations can look at it from this perspective, they would invest more in taking care of their staff's well-being to make sure that everyone and everything is sustainable.
Yeah, that culture of a happy worker is a good worker came from Japan, because I've worked for a Japanese company and that was the culture. And you've also mirrored something that one of my first guests on this podcast mentioned. And it's all about those upfront costs, which lead organizations to think that they don't have the budget or they're saving by not investing in the well-being of their employees. And so you repeating that today makes a very strong case for corporates and other organizations to listen to. Okay, for the woman listening who recognizes herself in this conversation, what is she most likely not admitting to herself? And what does the first step for her actually look like in real life?
I think she's not admitting because she just has to be honest with herself. That's the thing. Sometimes we need to take a step back and be honest with herself. And this is why I said again, like self-care is not just bubble bath. Sometimes you just have to sit down and say no and just sit down and listen to yourself. Now, when you're being honest with yourself, you realize, you know what? Actually, this is true. Because like, if I don't take care of myself, I might even drop dead one day and life is going to move on, And I think for me personally, that realization came in. I've always said, you know what, self, I want to take care of myself. And I was working in an organization where I wasn't happy. I was burnt out. I was running Tolicious on the side. I was doing that as well. I was, but I was scared also to leave because of that stability of the job. At the end of the month, I get that nice little salary, which goes up. It's not even enough. By the time I pay the bills, the tax, the money is gone. But guess what? I was still going. I was still going there because I wasn't honest with myself. Now, the realization hit me when I had my baby. That would be 2 years in August this year. Now, I had an emergency C-section that almost took my life. I don't know if I told you about this before.
No. Wow.
No. So I almost died. I had blood gushing out of me. I was telling the midwives, I think the baby is coming. I was in pain. I felt all the pain. I was supposed to have an epidural. I didn't get the epidural and I have low threshold of pain. And she was like, no, this is your first baby. I don't think you're due. I kept on going to the toilet, coming back. My husband was helping me. You know why? I could have had a baby in the toilet, but he was like 4.5 kilo. So that's why he didn't come out in the toilet.
Wow.
And when they took me serious, I was coming out of the toilet and they saw blood gushing out of me. There was nothing they could do anymore. They couldn't even put the epidural. It was too late. They cannot even tell me to push because I was in a lot of pain. The baby was going to die and all of that. They just had to rush me into the emergency section. Now, at that point, I realized how a life is too short. And how, I could have just died. I couldn't have survived that. And all the dreams and all the things I wanted to do, I couldn't have done that. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go all in.
Yeah.
After this maternity leave, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to hand in over my notice and I'm going to go in and pursue my brand Tolicious. I'm going to put 100% in there and I'm going to do it effortlessly. And I'm going to also mentor other women to be able to do the same thing. And that was that switch for me. That was that switch. So we have to be honest with ourselves. But again, I was speaking with someone about this. They say, I hope that other women don't reach that point where they are almost there to be able to realize that, because sometimes you don't get that second chance. sometimes you don't get it, but that was the switch for me.
Wow. And it was a switch, literally, because 1 minute you're working and the next minute you're in a crisis. But what I wanted to ask you was, were you ever going to leave your job to build Tolicious full time before the crisis? Because this crisis, this thing that happened to you, seemed to have been a huge pivotal moment in your life.
It was, 100%. But like I said, it's like, like the thing about this salary is like you get it at the end of the month and then you forget about all of the problems at the beginning, and then it just solves your bills for a week or so, and then it just continues. And that's the thing about mindset shift, detaching from that thing that is causing you pain. And a lot of women that are listening might be going through the same thing. It can be in business, it can be in a relationship, it can be in any way,
yes.
So you have that thing, it's causing you pain, but that little tiny pleasure comes in and you just forget all of it, and then you just go back to it, So with me, I think the pain of that emergency section and the realization of like I would have died was the shift for me. It was like, you know what, that's it. I'm done. I'm just going to go all in 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important that women realize it before crisis come, because, we don't know what could happen after that. All right. What does it look like when African women in the diaspora have fully internalized the idea that their well-being is not optional? What changes?
A lot. She can be able to be herself. She can be able to build businesses. She can be able to create healthy community. She can be able to raise healthy children, because I'm not gonna lie, we have a lot of trauma that is ingrained in our society that we need to heal from.
Yeah.
We need to heal from, and we need to be able to understand as well that if we carry those onto our children, the same thing is going to continue. So if she understands that and she heals herself, she can be able to raise healthier children. She can be able to create legacy. I want us to be able to create legacy business, and I'm so much passionate about that. So we can be able to create legacy business, something we can pass on to our children, to our grandchildren, and we look at our counterparts as well. They are far ahead of us. Oh, my grandmother left. We can be able to build the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, until we can't be able to understand what is it that is stopping us, we can't go far. And I'm doing a lot of yapping content recently on my social media. And one of the things I was saying was like, I used to be so worried when I was growing up, like when my mom and my dad would have issue and they would quarrel and I would carry that, Now, that is a bit of like childhood trauma now. But until I realized that as an adult, I realized, whatever problem they had, that is a problem. The only person's emotion I'm responsible for is mine. The only person I'm responsible for is mine. And if I do not heal that, I'm going to carry that into my marriage. I'm going to carry that onto my children. So if a diaspora woman can understand that and heal that, she can be able to be a better mom, a better business person, be able to create legacy and be also happier.
Yeah. I think a lot of the African women are just trying to survive. They're just looking at their lifetime, and it's really difficult for them to even fathom what the next generation or what their legacy should look like if they are not investing in themselves. So you raise very valid points. Okay, so Cass, I am just loving your enthusiasm and your passion about this subject. So I want you to tell the African woman what she needs to hear.
Oh, what is it we need to hear? Hey, loads. I think it also boils down to putting everyone else above us. That's what it is, putting everyone else above us. And unless we can understand that pattern where we realize, we need to be able to create something. We need to be able to do something and put ourselves first. We cannot grow past that. And I was having a conversation with a lady last week. Today is Monday, last week. She also has a business. She moved from Nigeria. She's been doing the business for 10 years. And it's not moving a needle, And she booked a free discovery call to come in as a mentee under my Blueprint Academy, which is like a mentorship for diaspora women on how to build and, do legacy businesses. So I was mentoring her at the beginning. Now, this is very important for anyone that's listening. This is very important. At the beginning, I was like, do you have structures in place? Do you have everything? She said, oh, yes, I'm ready. She's been running this business for 10 years. She want to build something. She want to be able to pass this. She want to do this. She want to do that. I was like, oh, that's fine. Now, when we started going in depth, I said, well, I'm meeting the mayor of the northeast of England on the 17th of July. And I want you to design an outfit for her and put that in your brand and your packaging and dress properly yourself and come with your business card. It's a networking event. So when you meet other people, because when I go out as well, you see like the compliment you gave to me at the beginning, people will tell me, oh, wow, you look nice. I said, but I don't make my outfits. So I told her, if you dress nice, people are going to tell you look nice. And you just say, yeah, I actually make this outfit. They'll be like, oh, you made it. Here's my business card. So I told her all of that. At that point, she was like, oh. And I could see the change and the shift.
Uh-oh.
And then she said she's not ready. I was like, oh my gosh. What do you mean you're not ready?
Oh, no.
I said, that's why I asked you at the beginning, do you have structures in place? Say yes. What people are messaging on. Again, it comes down to imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is very, very big as well among us women, diaspora women. Well, we feel like we're not qualified enough. We're not good enough to be in the room. We're not ready. We're not. You can never be ready. You can never be ready. Now you have the opportunity to have your outfit in a prominent person's hand. Take a picture with that. Have your outfit dressed. Go into that networking room. You don't know who you're going to meet that's going to challenge the other person you're going to meet. And that's how we build legacy business. You build legacy business by literally having people wear your outfit, tell it to other people, and it get passed on to generation. And there's a history behind and that was it. You know, I could feel that imposter syndrome. So we need to get over the imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome that tells us we're not good enough, we're not qualified enough, we're not supposed to be in the room, we're not supposed to be there. We're there. We should be there. And that's one of the things that's where I had to fight. I do not have a business degree. I didn't go to school to study business. I was a nurse. I was a clinical nurse. But one of the things that I realized was like, you know what? I can do it. Because if I could go into NHS and work at one of the highest pressure environments to work in the world, I can be able to walk into any room and be able to say what I have to say. You know, people can either tell you yes or no. People can either say yes or no. I walked into the room, people were wondering like, how did you get funded? I walked in and everyone was talking, everyone was hiding. I went straight to the person. I told him, hello, this is what I have done in the past few years. I started my business, I bootstrapped it. And at the moment, I am running out of cash. All the money I have, I've popped into my business. I'm a nurse, but this is what I want to change. This is my mission. I was saying it, I was scared, I was shaking. I was almost sweating. But guess what? He put out his phone. He said, this is my private number. Message me. Don't message me on LinkedIn because everyone bombarded me with messages. Message me on LinkedIn. And a few weeks after that, I got funded.
Wow.
Some people think like you have to be ready. Some people look at me as well. They think like, oh my gosh, she has so much confidence. She has everything. No, like I said to you right now, I was saying it. I was shaking. But I had to say it. You have to say it. Because like I said, also, you have to transfer your experience. Because a lot of our diaspora women that are listening might have worked in care. They're also nurses. They're also doctors and stuff like that. So you have to think about, okay, what are those skills that I've accumulated from the experience I have now? How can I be able to transfer those skills into business, into building something for myself, for my children? You know, that's how you have that mindset shift. Now, I speak also about my skills as a nurse, assessment, diagnosis, evaluate. You know, I'm able to look at a patient and be able to understand, okay, what is it I can help you with? What is your pain I can help you with? And that's something you do in business. What is the problem I can solve for my customers? You know, how can I make my customers happy? How can I make that patient not be in pain anymore? Who can I be able to get in? Can I be able to solve that problem? If I give them paracetamol, is it going to help? Can I be able to escalate it to a senior doctor, a junior doctor, my colleague? And that's something you do in business. Can I be able to do it? Do I need to collaborate with other people to be able to do that? So if you can think about that and be able to navigate it, everything becomes easier. Everything becomes easier. And one of the things I have to say last is PhD. I had PhD. Now, it's not PhD in studies. It's poor, hungry, and determined. That's one of the things I had.
Oh, wow.
I was poor, I was hungry, and I was determined. Damn. And when I say this, the D doesn't have to be desperate. We shouldn't be desperate, because when you're desperate, you can accept anything. You can, you don't have to be desperate. You have to be determined. You have to also know when to walk away and know, you know what, that doesn't serve me. And people can see when you're desperate and they can offer you like the slice of what you do not deserve. But if they see that you are determined, you know what? They would give you what you deserve. And that's what I want us women to go after and be able to grab that.
Oh my goodness. That was a lot that you packed in there. But I love what I'm hearing. I loved that you mentioned even service, even just not building for yourself, but for legacies, for passing on your skills to other people. And poor, hungry, and determined are possibly the points where people need to reach for them to actually be jolted into action. Yeah. Because a lot of us are on default setting and we don't appreciate that we need to push ourselves. We need to believe in ourselves. And imposter syndrome doesn't go anywhere. I even heard on the TV, Claude Wilkerman, who already has so many TV shows she's presented, she's pulling her own show because of fear of imposter syndrome. She says she's nervous about having her own show. So it's just a mindset shift, and your determination to go as far as you have or as you did to the point where you were shaking and you were meeting somebody really important, being present to present your case to a dignitary, is something not short of determination. So I feel like a lot of people think that it's confidence that carries people along. It's determination more than anything else. So thank you for sharing that. That is something we all needed to hear. So I just wanted to ask if there was anything else you wanted to share today.
Yes. So I've got my personal brand, which is Cassy UK online, and Cassy UK online just launched Blueprint Academy. Okay. So Blueprint Academy is mentorship for diaspora women who are looking to start and scale legacy businesses. Yes. Now that's one thing I picked up as well while working with Tolicious. I realized women will come up to me, how did you do it? I say, you know what, I'm just going to make it official. I'm just going to launch an academy where I teach women how to do it. And like I said, one of the mentees is the lady I was speaking to last week. Now, I am serious about this. I do not have too much time in my hand because people say, how do you do this? How do you do that? I want people that are actually looking to be able to make a change and be able to go forth with it. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's something, sometimes we need that nudge anyways. Sometimes we need that nudge, we need that push. We need people to say, you know what, you can do it and I'm going to come with you. You know, and that's one thing I want to do for other women out there as well. And if I can do that for 1, 2, 3, 4 women, I'm happy. In a year, I'm happy.
I love that. You know? I love it. Thanks for sharing that. Such an important message there to share. Cass, it's been such a pleasure having you and discussing these important subjects. I mean, the work you do is so impactful, and I hope you will be able to continue and grow as much as you want to. But I want to say a huge thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you for having us, Lolita. And I'm just looking forward to seeing the podcast and listening to it as well. Thank you.
Wow. I think Cass was very raw in terms of her message. A lot of women, we carry a lot of cultural stagnating and stifling values, which prevent us from, one, putting ourselves first, 2, growing exponentially. We tend to have a limiting mindset, and on top of that, imposter syndrome. So there are a lot of things that we African women are battling daily. But as Cass said, it's pure determination that got her to where she was. She did, however, suffer a crisis which jolted her into action. And we don't want to be in crisis before we realize that we need to do something about our circumstances to improve and grow. And just remember that whatever we're doing, we want to pass to the next generation. What we don't want to pass to the next generation is a limited mindset. So ladies and all of the women in diaspora and Africa, let's take a leaf from Cassie's book and be determined to grow and change the world. I hope you all enjoyed listening to this episode today, and I wish you all a successful week. Thank you.